all you literary legends and luminaries. I'm Julie, and welcome to Write Smart. Today's episode is about Christina Applegate's memoir, You with the Sad Eyes. I read Christina Applegate's memoir because she is of my time. She's about 6 years older than I am, but I am familiar with the pop culture world in which she writes. My family watched Married with Children, and I envied Kelly Bundy. Who wouldn't want to look like her, although you definitely wanted to be smarter than she was. I always think the universe sends us messages through books. I was revising a memoir about my college days, and I actually titled a chapter called The Kelly Bundy Conundrum. And I was revising my memoir about my disordered eating, and Christina Applegate struggled with that as well. And my pop culture book I plan to write this summer, well, this overlaps as well, so I had to read her memoir, not to mention I love the title, a line from Cyndi Lauper's True Colors, although Applegate doesn't directly mention that. The first chapter I didn't care for too much because Applegate is essentially talking to us. I don't like when memoirs are written in that way. However, the next chapter showcases Applegate's writing skills. She has some eloquent descriptions and an easy flow in her writing. I was captivated. So here's an example right from the first chapter after the intro. As my mother tried to explain, I could feel something sparking in me indistinctly at first and then catching hold like a wildfire. My mom and I had slowly inched to the front of Grauman's, to the spot where you can reach down and put your hands and handprints and your feet and footprints of famous performers, and I reached down to put my little 5.5-year-old hands into Jack Nicholson's imprint, which he'd made in June 1974. I had no idea that one day I'd be ineffectually flirting with him in an audition for a movie role. I distinctly remember thinking, even at 5 years old, this is magic. These people will be here forever. A child's mind can conceive of the beauty of forever, especially when the present presses hard like a burden. So, like every celebrity memoir out there that I complain about, other than Diane Keaton's, Applegate's book is an autobiography, which is really kind of a bummer. We only get snippets of Applegate's life and career. While it is sort of arranged chronologically at the beginning, it kind of becomes more topical. For instance, she brings up dance a lot, but then has a chapter later on where she describes it more, especially when she danced at the Viper Room. She never mentions River Phoenix, by the way. I wanted to know more about dance and her passion for it. She says it was her first passion, but I wouldn't know it based on the book. I wish she would have developed more about Married with Children. I wish she would have developed more about her eating disorder. There was just so much jammed in here that it just scratched the surface of her complex life. Her cancer and MS, she doesn't spend a great deal of time on either. I don't know. I mean, it's good that I wanted to know more about it because the way she wrote about it grabbed my attention. Yet I doubt she's going to write another book about the stuff that I want to know more about. I just wish celebrities would understand this whole idea of memoir writing. Like Jennifer Grey, yes, people would read an entire book just about Dirty Dancing. I don't know why they don't understand that. It would mean way more money for them and the publishers because each celebrity could write multiple books. I don't know. It's just frustrating because our lives cannot be pared down to a 300-page book. But I don't think that will change anytime soon. So overall, I liked Applegate's book, and not just because I delighted in reading about Johnny Depp and her guest starring on 21 Jump Street, an episode I do remember well, and I knew Brad Pitt before he was Brad Pitt too. He was on an episode of 30-something. I don't think he even had any speaking lines, but he was already a delight to look at. I enjoyed her honesty in her memoir. Some celebrity memoirs are concerned with the image they are portraying as they write, and some feel so out of touch with reality. Applegate even goes back as far as to take back what she said about her breast cancer, her double mastectomy. She's not touting MS as anything other than the horrible thing that it is. I would have enjoyed reading a lot more about many of the topics she manages to squeeze into just a chapter. What I liked most about her memoir, though, is that she reminds us that celebrities are just people. Sometimes it's annoying when celebrities complain and act like the world is against them because they have so much more than the rest of us. Not just money, but opportunities and connections, and their recognition and name opens up so many more doors and experiences than the average person gets. But the way Applegate writes about her life, it almost blends in with all the other countless memoirs that I've read, that we're all just people experiencing the good and the bad and doing the best we can. Hers was one of the first celebrity memoirs that at times in the book, I almost forgot that she was famous. And that's a good thing, I think. 99.9% of her readers will never have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but the way her book reads, it might as well have been something else that 99.9% of her readers will never experience, if that makes any sense. Her memoir held much more universal qualities than most other celebrity memoirs. And for that alone, it was worth the read. Thanks for watching. As always, my goal at Write Smart is to write books so that we can read books and get a little bit smarter, one book at a time.